Today we're continuing looking at what helps us grow closer to God, and we've come to being generous with ourselves. I remember as a teenager being shocked by something in the Bible. Here it is, familiar enough, isn't it? Here's Jesus answering a question about which commandment is most important. And here we are with Jesus' answer. Love the Lord your God, he says, with everything you've got, and your neighbour as yourself. The shock was when a preacher pointed out that the as yourself bit means that we're called to love ourselves as well, as much as your neighbour. Now, through the centuries, this love of self has been downplayed a bit, lest we go overboard with it and go in for a life of wild living and selfishness. So we don't mean that, but instead a proper love and care of ourselves that is really important. The difficulty, though, about talking about any of this is that we're all different, aren't we? To some of us, love and care for ourselves comes easily, and for others it's harder. Messages from childhood may have helped us develop that sense of being loved, while others may have had to work on that ourselves in later life. Some aspects of loving and looking after ourselves are our responsibility, of course, and things that only we can do for ourselves. For example, as adults, it's our responsibility to seek medical care if needed. No one should have to take us to the doctor if we need one. And it's not selfish to take care of ourselves, because unless we do, we can't help other people. So, for instance, if we're going to help a collapsed person who's stopped breathing and we want to save them from dying, we first need to check for danger. It's the first step of the protocol for basic life support. First check for danger, it says. Otherwise you may become a victim too and unable to help anyone else. And it's part of drawing closer to God. God is not a distant, angry father figure, but as Henry was saying a few weeks ago, God so loved the world that he gave everything we have and his only son for us. And see what love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. And finally, look, there's freedom and there's glory in being a child of God. So we are beloved children of God, and surely this is how God sees us all our lives. And part of being generous with ourselves is really taking that to heart. But again, we can recoil from that because it sounds like we're being selfish and full of ourselves, whereas actually it's true and it's a vital reality to live by. Because how we think and feel about ourselves has important impact on those around us. When we know ourselves to be children of God, dependent on God's life and love for everything we have, then we can live with confidence, and we in turn can risk being generous to others. Marianne Williamson's poem expresses it well. She wrote, "We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." May it be so. Amen.